Hello, tubers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And thank you for joining Cooper's Thai Adventure Livestream. Today, we have a special guest with us. I'm going to introduce him. His name is Doug or Douglas, whatever you, what do you prefer to be called? Doug or Douglas?
Either one's fine.
Either one is fine. And people have been asking for us to have special guests on the channel. And I've been like, okay, sure, no problem. And he's been here in Thailand on and off for quite a few years. And I'm going to let him tell his story. And so anybody can join into the chat. If you're new to the channel and you want to join in the discussion in the live stream, real easy. Click the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a penny. Wait 60 seconds. That's all. Put your comment on. We'll read it live on air for you. So let's get into today's show. We'll say a couple hellos, and then I'll let you meet Mr. Doug. First off, we got Jerry Hart says, good evening, Coop, Darlene, and Brooke. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Jerry. We are. Pete J, hello, folks. Hope you're all well. We are. Thank you, Pete, for coming on. And Heath McDaniel says, good evening. Sitting here watching in rain in Southeast Tennessee. Thank you, Heath, for coming on. It's raining over here, too. We got a little bit of rain outside right now. Al, Big Al, Black Ops says, good evening, Coop and Darlene. Good evening, Al. Thank you for coming on and joining us. Wendy, good evening from Denison. Wendy, moving along, stressed out, but excited. We'll be there in June 26th. Can't wait to see everyone again. Hope all is well. And hi, Doug. Say hello to Wendy.
Hello.
There you go. And New Wave says, good evening, Cooper, Darlene, Brooke, and Doug, and all in Cooper Villa, as he likes to call it. And Andrew Shimonik says, hello, Coop, Darlene, and Doug, sending love from Corpus Christi in Texas. Thank you, Andrew. Bachelor Biology, good morning, Darlene, Cooper, and Doug from sunny Florida. Thank you, Bachelor Biology. NFN Shaka says, greetings to all in the chat, and thank you, NFN. Muhammad says, greetings, Cooper. Thanks for your help while I've been here on the ground. Yeah, I just met you a couple of days ago. Pleasure to meet you, and glad that I could forward that advice that you were looking for on the Line app. And let me know after a couple of weeks how you're liking the place. Message me and let me know. Brian Barber says, hello, Cooper, Douglas, Darlene, and Brooke. Thank you, Brian, from Durban, South Africa. Rodney says, good morning, cool, Darlene, Brooke, and Douglas. Another great show about the start. And guys, hit the like button. Yes, please, if you're on the live stream, please hit the like button. Tommy Lee says, good evening, Cooper, Al, Darlene, and Bitcoin Brooke. Doug's into Bitcoin too, by the way. Alpha Romeo says, hello, Coop, Darlene, Brooke, and Doug. Hello, Alpha Romeo, and thank you for coming on. So we got through all of the hellos, did that as quickly as I can. And Doug, tell us, when was the first time you came to Thailand?
It probably would have been about probably close to 10 years ago. I think it's probably about pretty accurate. Mm-hmm.
And so you've been coming back and forth over the last 10 years?
Yeah, I was coming pretty regularly until COVID hit, and then that kind of put a damper on things for about 2.5 years for me. So, but then once everything kind of got back to the normal swing, then yeah, was able to come back again. So a few times.
And you sort of just fell in love with the place?
Yeah, I did. I was looking for a place to retire to. And I had been hosting foreign exchange students pretty much throughout all my kids' school years, and off and on. I'd host one for about a school year, and then I'd take a year off. And I think I hosted like 7 or 8 of them over the course of that time frame when the kids were in grade school, actually clear up through high school. And one of the students that I hosted was actually from Thailand.
Wow.
And I had never really gave Thailand a whole lot of thought, like maybe most people do. When it's just one of those countries that but that's
the other
beautiful.
Side of the world. Yeah,
exactly. It looks beautiful. I've seen pictures, but you just really don't put a whole lot more thought into it until that foreign exchange student came, and she started telling me more and more about Thailand, and showing a lot of videos and pictures and stuff about Thailand. I thought, wow, man, that's a lot more beautiful of a country than I ever had thought of that it would be. And sure enough, I had the opportunity then to come the first time, and that was where I wanted to go, was Thailand. I thought, man,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to check that out for a retirement spot. And I just absolutely just fell in love with it. So, yeah. And the rest is history. So,
Yeah.
so
You loved it so much, you even married a Thai.
I did. Yeah. I married a Thai.
Yeah.
After about 4 years of coming here back and forth, ended up marrying one.
Mhm.
And of course, trying to get her to the US then when COVID hit, that kind of put a damper again on that situation. But eventually we were able to get her over there and got married. And so it's worked out really well for me. So,
And what did she think of the States? Did she like it? Was it a bit of a
I think-
culture shock for her?
yeah, I think, it's a little bit of everything. People see television and they see the bright lights of Hollywood and New York, and they think excitement and this and that. But once you actually are there and you start dealing with some of the issues that are going on in the US, especially right now, it can be pretty trying on a person, I think, especially somebody that isn't of the same culture.
Yeah. Sort of like us coming over here. It's a bit of a culture shock, and it's going to be the same for them going over to the States.
Yeah. Most Thai people are quiet, polite, this and that. Well,
yeah.
You know how a lot of US people are. So that was kind of a shock to her.
So you're fully retired now?
I am. Yeah.
And what did you used to do back in the States for work?
Well, I've retired twice, actually.
Okay.
The first, I was a state trooper for about 30 years.
Respect.
Yeah. Kansas Highway Patrol. And retired, went to Florida for about 1 year. Down in Naples.
Okay.
Because I thought, man, I got to get out, and just, I've always loved the ocean. I'm scuba certified and I love the beach.
Oh, ditto. Same here. Me and my wife. We'll have to go diving sometime.
Sure, you bet. And so went down there for a year, but at that time my kids were both still, my daughter was in middle school, my son was in high school.
Right.
And even though they loved it there, of course, all their friends were back, where we were from. So anyway, came back to Kansas, which is actually where I'm from.
Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas side?
Well, it's Kansas.
Okay.
It's about, from Kansas City, Kansas, maybe a little over an hour drive north. So anyway, went down there for about a year and then came back, and I was good friends with a mayor of the town that I lived in and several of the city council members. So they talked me into becoming the chief of police for the town. And I did that for about 5 years. And then I said, that's enough. And so that was the end of that. So now I'm just completely fully retired, but about 35 years total in law enforcement. So
35 years.
Yeah.
Wow. What a record. Thank you for your service.
You're
I appreciate everybody that served in the military or law enforcement. You're putting your life at risk every day.
Sure.
Like I was in the war zone. You don't know if the person you stop in a car is going to have a sidearm, and they're a wanted criminal, and they're trying to get away from you.
People give police a lot of flack about, what we do and stuff. But, when you got somebody that's speeding, they know who you are, but you're the cop, but you don't know who's driving that car. And why are they speeding in the first place? Did they just rob somebody? They're just trying to get away from a murder. I mean, you have no idea as a police officer.
No.
Hasn't been reported yet. Maybe they robbed a bank, and it's just happened. That's why they're trying to get away. And, it's easy for people to sit back and condone a lot of the stuff that police officers do. But until you've been in that situation, trust me, people have no right to say anything. Unfortunately.
No. And I agree. I think back, of all the times I spent in the war zone and in the Army, and I wouldn't want to be a police officer in the States. It's just a violent place now.
When I first got in, of course, with the Highway Patrol, just an exceptional professional organization. And people had a lot of respect for the Highway Patrol, and they still do, especially in the area, that I come from. But for whatever reason, over a period of time, people have just kind of started losing respect. And I think a lot of that has to do with, politics and trust me, there's good cops and there's bad cops.
Yeah.
That in any position, in any job that you do, You're going to have good people and you're going to have bad people.
Yeah,
there's,
I agree with that.
even though law enforcement tries to weed out those bad people by doing a pretty extensive background investigation, especially getting accepted with a highway patrol, their background is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that weeds out a lot of people, but you're still going to get some that slip through the cracks, unfortunately. Yeah. And those are the people that the media, they focus on, and they don't look at the majority of police that are trying to just make their neighborhoods and their friends and where they live at a safer place for everybody. And that's really sad.
Yeah,
that it's become that way.
It is. Yeah. And the reason I got a lot of respect is because my brother's also a police officer. Okay. So he's a police officer in LA County.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And he tells me, how bad it is.
Yeah.
So
it's bad.
It is bad.
Right.
PJ says Doug's also into Bitcoin. There's a man with a good taste.
Well, it's up again, so there you go.
It is. It's back up above 69. Everybody's happy again. There he is. Mr. Brooke Schneider says hello, Coop Troop. PJ says, hey, at Brooke Schneider, good to see you, sir. Greg Smith says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Greg. Thank you for coming on and joining us. Dennis L says, Doug, how long did it take you to adjust to the time difference, and how did it affect your rating habits?
As far as adjust to it, it wasn't difficult for me at all, because of the career that I had pretty much my entire adult life. My internal clock doesn't function.
I know
to put it in layman's terms, because you would work maybe 8 hours a day morning, and then a couple of days off. Well, now you might be working 8 hours at night, from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till midnight, or 7 o'clock in the evening till 2 in the morning. I mean, it just varied. And then you'd have a couple of days off. Well, now you might be getting up at 5 o'clock, going to work at 6.
Yeah.
Sleep schedule for a police officer, especially the highway patrol. That's just kind of the routine of how it was, because there were so few of us in Kansas that, in fact, the county that I was assigned to, there was only me and one other trooper for the whole county.
Just the two of you?
Just two of us. And back when the war was going on, he was actually in the Guard. And there's another trooper that was in the county next to us. He was in the Guard too. Well, he was the only trooper in that county. So when the war got started, they both got shipped out. They both got activated. So I had my county, the county.
So they were probably reservists and got recalled.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the troopers that were south of me, there was only 2 down there. Well, one of them might be on days off and the other one's working days. Well, now there's nobody out at night.
Right.
So there was a lot of times where I would have 3-4 counties, and I was the only trooper, literally the only trooper for 3-4 counties.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then if you had something really bad that happened.
This is exactly what I was just about to ask you.
Yeah,
what do you do?
Yeah, well, you're big enough what you can do by yourself, because backup, especially in rural areas, I mean, it could be 45 minutes, an hour before somebody can get there to you.
So you just hope that sidearm and your shotgun that you got inside the car was enough to keep you going until backup arrives.
Yeah, but again, I'll go back to the training that the Highway Patrol provides is just phenomenal. I mean, it really is. I can't say
how was the training for that? I'm curious.
Well, I was never in the military.
Okay.
Yeah. But all I can do is compare it to what people have told me that were in the military. In fact, one of my best friends, state trooper, he was in the Marine Corps. And he said that the Highway Patrol Academy is harder than Marine Corps boot camp.
Really?
Yeah. Because not only do you have the physical aspects of the training, but you also have the testing, the knowledge part. And I mean, it was rigorous training. I mean,
because you study the law in a sense. You got to almost become a lawyer,
pretty much. Yeah. So you've got that, plus the physical part, because of the dangers that you risk every day, and especially in a rural state like Kansas, again, you're it. So
when you go to state trooper school, how long's the training?
28 weeks.
That's long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's over 6 months there training.
Yeah. So You know, by the time you get out of it, though, again, that's what I'm saying. You're so confident and you feel like you are anyway. You know, confident in your abilities. So,
Wow, fantastic. Well, that's a very long training. Army, we don't have nowhere near that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, a lot of liability.
Yeah,
with police
exactly.
anyway, too. So,
Dennis says, what did you buy at first if you have either a bike or a car, and why? You have a bike or a car?
I have
here?
a motorbike.
You got a motorbike?
I do have a motorbike. That was the first that I bought.
What kind of bike did you buy?
I bought a ADV 350.
Nice bike.
Yeah.
I was stuck between that one and the Yamaha 300, which I bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had Hondas in the past.
Yeah.
And I knew they were so dependable.
Mm.
You know, and that's just what I felt comfortable with. So that's what I went with. And I heard they were really good bikes.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
James has had one and he absolutely loves it. He uses it to riding around locally.
Yeah.
And I do like the bike. The only thing that pushed the Yamaha for me was that it had TFT screen with the GPS mapping.
Yeah.
And I
know
fantastic.
That. Yeah,
I could use that.
I actually thought the same thing about that. I'll just use my phone.
Yeah. A lot of people use your phone.
Yeah. But no, the second part of that was, I bought a bike. That was the first thing. But my wife's daughter has a car dealership.
Okay.
And up in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
So every time we come back here, she gives us a car to drive while we're here.
Oh, okay.
So,
nice one.
Yeah. So we have a house up in Chiang Mai too. See, so we kind of like travel back and forth. But she let us bring one of the cars down here. And so I just drive around in her car. And
oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah,
plus. There you go. Keep it in the family.
You bet. Mm-hmm.
PJ says, once you fall in love with Thailand, the rest of the world pales into insignificance. I agree with that. Yeah. Sure. I don't miss America at all. Yeah. And I know you're sort of semi-retired. Well, you're fully retired.
I'm fully retired now.
You're fully retired, but you'll be going back and forth until your wife gets her American citizenship.
Yeah, she's actually eligible next year, I think in March. But you know, I have 2 kids that still live in the U.S. And so you know, I mean, we're really close too. And you know, I want to spend time with them as well. So you know, if it wasn't for them, then I probably wouldn't go back much to the U.S. either. You know. But,
so what's the future looking like? 6 months and 6 months back and forth, or
you know, maybe for now. But I could see maybe in the future more like a 9 and 3, 9 here, maybe
and 3 back
in the U.S.
Okay.
You know, something along that line. I hate winter. I hate snow.
Right.
And you know, I've got full of that. I used to love it as a kid growing up, but I don't know. I guess just a whole lifetime full of it. I don't care if I see another snow again in my life.
I don't blame you. I don't.
It's beautiful to look at.
Yes.
And you look
on
out
TV,
a window,
it looks fantastic.
You go, oh my God, look how beautiful. But once you step out inside it,
and you feel how cold it really is, that it hits home. Yeah.
So
I agree. Jerry and Jennifer says, good morning, evening, everyone. Been traveling to Thailand since 1965. It gets better every trip. And thank you for that, Jerry, Jennifer. And that brings me on my next question I wanted to ask you there, Doug. Since your first time coming to Thailand, has your opinion changed? Your first impression versus now at all?
I'm sure it probably has, but probably for the better.
For the better.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the first time I came, the only person that I knew here was our foreign exchange student.
Right.
And it was a little challenging because I didn't want to be just in a touristy area, you know. So I wanted to go out kind of in the, you know, get out of Bangkok, get out of Jomtien, Pattaya area, you know, and really kind of see Thailand. But it was that language barrier that kind of was difficult at first. But, you know, over a period of time, I get a little bit familiar with Google Translate.
It helps a lot. I use it every day.
And then, of course, then I ended up marrying my wife, who's Thai. And now it's like, you know, it gives you a whole different perspective.
How's your Thai? Can you speak Thai?
Nit Noi.
Nit Noi, a little bit. That's what it means. Everybody knows the word Nit Noi when you come over here. Okay. And Robert Mac Media says, hello, Coop. Great channel. Always appreciate your information. Thank you for that, Robert. And he also says, watching from southern Missouri today. How's the weather over there? Is it raining like the rest everywhere else right now? And Bachelor Biology says, Naples is beautiful.
Naples is absolutely beautiful. It is a beautiful, beautiful area of Florida.
Yeah. Never been.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Never
if
been.
you ever get a chance, go.
No.
Yeah.
I never got a chance.
Yeah. If you ever do go, it's beautiful down there. It's pretty expensive. It's pretty high dollar area, but man, the ocean, the Gulf, and everything there. It's just straight across from Miami. Literally.
Really?
Yeah, just straight across.
Get any problem with gators down there?
We had some. Some of the areas down there had them. Some of the people would have them in their pools and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's what terrifies me.
It's just kind of right there in the the whole area of the swamps, and and all that. But yeah, Naples is a beautiful, beautiful area.
Yeah. Have to check it out one day if I get a chance. Robert Mac Media says Troop F. Does that mean anything to you?
Troop F. That's Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Or is he talking about the old TV show Troop F? F Troop.
Okay, I have no idea.
The old cavalry.
Got us on that one, Robert. Brian Barber says, at Brooke, what color T-shirt you wearing today? You have smart color T-shirts. He's probably wearing one of his normal house shirts. He's not on the live stream tonight there, Brian. And Andrew Shimonik says, if you haven't hit the like button yet, what are you waiting for? Question mark, question mark. Yes, please. 81 people on the live stream. Please hit the thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And Brooke says, blue for BB. That's what shirt he's wearing. Bachelor Biology says Naples is rated #1 in best places to live in the U.S. by USA News and World Report 24/25.
There you go.
Really? I never got a chance to go down there. I mean, the only time I was ever in Florida was when I was in college, in City College. I did a 2-year associate's degree. Okay. And after the first year, before we started the second year, you had a 2-month break. And so what did everybody do? Spring break. Sure, let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Right. And that's where I went, Fort Lauderdale. So we took a Greyhound there. Great way to travel. Man, that was a long trip. Yeah. And we didn't have enough money to fly. We're students. Greyhound, cheap way to go. Yeah. And we took a Greyhound there and took a Greyhound back. But I still can remember those days. Yeah. It was before they changed the law to 21 for drinking, so I actually had a good time.
That's kind of how it was for us in Kansas. 18 was the legal age back when I was growing up.
Yeah, well, they changed it while I was in college. I think it was like 6 months after we came back from spring break. All of a sudden, the drinking age has changed to 21. Well, we're all 20, a year before our 21st birthday, and we're like, what the heck, And so what we used to do in California is we'd get the bus down to San Diego, go over Tijuana border, get drunk in Tijuana, and then come back. Sure. Yeah. Well, the local law enforcement, they hated us. Yeah. And they were like, well, we can arrest you for bringing alcohol across the state line. And they're like, well, hang on, we don't have any alcohol, we consumed it over there. Yeah. Well, they just like to scare us, but they were really nice. We got along with them great. Right. So, they got to know us every third weekend we were going across there. Yeah. Dennis L says the cops are like fathers. They enforce the rules, and if you break them, there's consequences. Yeah, that's right. That's what my dad always told me. Respect the law. When I was a kid. Yeah. Nowadays, children don't respect the law.
No, again, I don't know.
Times have changed in the last 50 years.
I think there's a lot of different reasons why that's probably happened. Unfortunately, the nuclear family is pretty well gone now. Kids with no father figure at home growing up. Yeah. And it's just this rhetoric and over about our politicians, defund the police and this and that. And again, they'll the media will pick out just one thing that where a law enforcement officer screwed up. But what they don't talk about are the literally thousands and thousands of contacts police have with citizens every single day. And
where you're saving lives.
That's right. Exactly. But if something bad happens, man, they paint the whole picture that it's a problem with all law enforcement across the United States. They're all racist. They're all out to, whatever. But I mean, it's sad that that's happened, because it just shows a lot of disrespect, and a lot of bad consequences are happening because of that, I think. So, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. My dad always said, respect the law. And I can remember one time I was like 9 years old, and a police officer brought me home.
Yeah.
And it was a buddy of mine that lived across the street from us. And there was a farm like maybe half a mile away.
Okay.
And they had a bunch of haystacks stacked up like a pyramid.
Yeah.
Well, when we were kids, we used to play King of the Hill. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Get up to the top of the hill,
throw everybody else off.
and throw everybody else off. Well, we thought we were doing it in mud and rocks and getting hurt. Haystack gotta be nice and soft. So about 5 of us went up there and we started playing King of the Hill on this haystack. We're 7, 8 years old. We don't know any better. Well, the farmer comes running out with a pitchfork. We're scared. We take off running. We get to the road. There's a police officer waiting for us. Come on, took us to our families. And anyways, he took me to the front door, knocked on the door, and I was crying because I knew I was in such big trouble. And the police officer told my dad what had happened. When the police officer left, boy, my dad whooped my butt black and blue. He said, you ain't never doing that again. And then he made me go out there for the next 6 Sundays helping the farmer on his land as punishment. I never went to court. I was never arrested or anything like that. But my dad wanted to teach me a lesson.
And that had probably more of an impact on you than you probably realize throughout your whole life. A positive impact. And the consequences of doing something that you shouldn't do.
I mean, the police officer could have took us to jail, called social services, any number of things, but he didn't. He took us home, explained what happened to our parents, and all of us had to go out there and help.
Clean everything out,
and help clean all the hay up, and then helped him while he was going with the tractor. We were there putting the bale straps on. So we were doing that for like 6 weeks in a row. That was our weekend shot, because we'd go out and play at the weekends because you're not in school. I was out there putting these straps on these bale of hay, and the sweat was just killing me, and the bugs and everything else. I learned a lesson. I learned a valuable lesson right then and there.
I've thrown so much hay in my life. I can remember growing up in high school, the farmers would pay us a nickel a bale. And that was to put it on a wagon. And then take it in a barn and unload it. A nickel a bale. So you could literally work all day, make $20. You thought you were rich. Back then. Oh my God, so hot.
Well, this thing came off these like forks at the end of the tractor, and it'd already be in a bale, and then you'd have to put the strap on. And that's how we were doing it.
Well, these were already baled.
Okay, so yours were already baled. We had to actually do that and stop them from the bale coming loose. And you had to do it real quick. So learned a very, very valuable lesson. Brian Barber says, Brooke, way to go. Robert MacMedia says, I got a couple of friends who are LASD and one in LAPD. Okay, Los Angeles Police Department. What's SD?
Sheriff's Department.
Oh, Sheriff's Department. Okay, thank you. I'm not in law enforcement, but learn something new all the time on here. Scooter McGee says, the initial reason I came here was low cost of living and the beautiful Bay Area. But I am blown away by how much safer I feel here than the place I lived in the U.S., mostly Chicago, Phoenix, and Vegas. And from your perspective, being a law enforcement officer, what's the crime like here?
Non-existent. There is crime here. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. There is crime here, but compared to what I've dealt with, back in the U.S., to me, it's non-existent. I mean, it's so minute that it's almost unnoticeable. Don't get me wrong. There are bad people here. There's bad people all over the world. And if you leave yourself in a situation where you're vulnerable, people are going to take advantage.
If you get caught up with bad people,
But I mean, in all my time coming back and forth from here, I've had zero bad experience, anything at all, nothing.
Have you ever felt your safety was an issue here?
Never.
Going out at night?
No.
Never been harassed?
No.
Somebody tried to rob you, gunpoint, knife point?
No, that's what I said. I've had zero experience of any type of nefarious activity. Of any sort.
And all our subscribers tell us exactly the same. I've got like a dozen single women that are, single women retired and they decided to come here to Thailand. They're loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it. Said it's just super, super safe.
Right. Yeah.
They don't have to worry about looking over their shoulder,
Right.
And someone following them, wants to rob them, rape them, whatever,
Sure.
Worst case scenario. They don't feel that here.
Yeah.
They said for the first time ever, Coop, I felt safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, there's criminals everywhere and they're here too. But I think that if you're smart and you don't make yourself vulnerable, you have zero things to worry about here.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So
don't get involved with a motorbike gang or something like that. Then you're not going to have any issues here.
Stuff, stupid things are going to happen.
Exactly.
So just stay smart.
Yeah. Tommy Lee says, "Hey Doug, did you have difficulty deciding on your accommodation and how long did it take?"
I did. Like I said, we own a house in Chiang Mai, but I wanted something down in this area. And
in the Jomtien area.
Yeah, in Jomtien.
Okay.
I was kind of teetering between Jomtien and Pattaya, to be honest with you. I was looking up at some areas up in Wagamat. Wagamat Beach is really beautiful up in that area. I had looked at so many different condos, and we ended up buying a condo. I know some people say don't buy, rent, and to each their own. And I can understand it. I honestly
can understand both.
I can understand both sides of that coin. But for us, it was just a better decision to buy. My thinking on that was, okay, well, I got a house in the U.S. We got a house in Chiang Mai.
Right.
But I wanted to come to Jomtien and be able to spend as much time here as I wanted to as well, because you get Chiang Mai, I'm sure you're probably aware, smoky season.
Burning season.
You don't want to be up there.
No, you don't.
I mean, I was told that it's like the #1 worst place in pollution.
Yeah.
During the smoky season.
It gets bad.
You don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So that was this thing. Okay. So what do? We go down here and rent something, for, or do we go back to the US or, one of those? Well, it's still wintertime in the US when they have smoky season here.
Right.
See, so I'm not going back there during the winter. So it was like, okay, we're going to rent something for what? A month, 2 months, 3, 6. Well, I'm the type of guy that I want something that's mine.
Right.
Respect, I want to put my clothes in it. I want to have my own bed.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody else been sleeping on it. Even you stay at hotels, you have that problem.
Yeah.
But you just want something that you can call your base.
Right.
This is mine. I can come and go as I please. I don't have to worry. I can just clock it up, shut off the electricity. We could go up to Chiang Mai, spend a month if we wanted to, come back, and everything is just like we left it.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about rent, And it just to me, it was just a better fit.
Okay.
And I know that there's so many condos here that people try to sell and they can't sell. They've had them for however long, they still can't sell because new ones are being built all the time.
Yeah.
But to me, again, I probably would never sell it. I'll let my kids worry about it.
There you go. Pass it on to the kids. And that's my mentality too. I'm probably going to buy something over here, leave it to Darlene and the kids.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I can't take it with me when I go.
Sure.
Leave it to them.
Yeah. My kids want a place to come and stay to get away from winter time or whatever. Hey, here's your condo that's beautiful. I bought one at the Copacabana, beautiful sea view.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really nice. I really enjoy
And how is the Copacabana? You liking it?
I do. I'd heard some horror stories about it. I'll be honest with you. And I was a little bit leery about doing that. But I have had zero problems since I've been there, which I know now we're in the slow season. And I think majority of the problems are during busy season. If it gets too bad, I'll just go to Chiang Mai, or I go to the US or whatever. But I do know that as an owner of a condo there, they just sent me a newsletter. It's probably been just a few days ago. I know it's probably been within the last week, where they did a survey with all the owners, and overwhelmingly the owners want some type of facial recognition scanner put in and fingerprinting to get on the elevators and have access to all the amenities, the pools and this and that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll cut down or maybe even completely eliminate these 1-2 night people that are renting, through
because they're going to have to go through juristic office
have
to get their
that's
face
right.
scanned.
Exactly. And how are you going to do that?
That'll knock out the Airbnbs completely
yeah.
for the short stay
And
people.
I think that is the problem that most of the people have complained about that I've heard.
Right.
You know, it's the elevators, the noise.
Being clogged up.
Yeah, the noise,
the,
you know, and that kind of stuff. People partying because they're only there for 2 nights.
Yeah.
And this will be more of a, you know, a homeowner type situation where everybody's more concerned about the appearance and taking care of the property. You know,
that's
because they have an investment. You know, it's an investment.
It's glad I'm happy that they, you know, sit down and talk to the owners about, you know, how they can make improvements.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah. I agree. And New Wave says, Doug, do you have some fun stories about your time in law enforcement? We were just talking about them before the live stream there, New Wave.
I do. You'll have to hit me up sometime on that. I wouldn't even really know where to start.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've seen pretty much anything and everything that you can imagine. Trust me, I've seen it.
Yeah.
100%.
Moving on. Come to a meet and greet out here, New Wave, and spend some time with Doug. He'll tell you all about it. Brett Harmon says, boring. Why are you not talking about Thailand? Well, if you don't like it, don't watch it, Brian. Brett, that's simple. We're here to introduce one of our subscribers to those that watch the channel. Robert Mac Media says, ADV 350, great bike. And I agree. Yeah. I think they're both fantastic bikes.
Yeah, love it.
Alpha Mayo, Doug, which part of Thailand did you decide to retire? Do you travel to cities in Thailand? Did you travel to cities in Thailand before choosing your current location?
I did. Yeah. Like I said, we own a house in Chiang Mai. His wife really loves the mountains, and that's kind of where she grew up. She actually was born in Chiang San, which is over by Chiang Rai in the Golden Triangle area. But again, before I settled on Jomtien on a condo, I looked, like I said, for 10 years, I've traveled around Thailand, not only here, I've been to Phuket, a lot of the areas between north and south, I'll just put it that way. But I just kept focusing on ocean. Koh Samui, I had contemplated it at one time, and I thought, after a while, that might get pretty boring.
Right.
Saying
it's a small island.
It's a beautiful
place,
but a nice place to visit. Do you really want to live there? Kind of thought the same thing about Phuket.
Yeah.
But they're so close from here that, geez, just go.
Exactly. An hour flight. And you can fly there from Utapao Airport, which is only 30 minutes down the road. So it's only an hour away.
You want to go spend a month there, you do it.
Exactly.
Whatever, a week or weekend.
So what ticked the boxes about Jomtien for you? What was it about Jomtien?
Well, to me, it just most of it was kind of the location. So close to Bangkok.
Right.
It's kind of the best of all the worlds, I felt. If you wanted to go up to a big city and have everything right there, Bangkok's what, hour and a half?
Exactly. Yeah, it's not that far.
Yeah, which is what I was used to where I lived, to go to Kansas City. So it was no different there. That was probably one of the big things. But yet Jomtien, and again, the reason why I chose Jomtien over Pattaya was just seemed like Jomtien wasn't as busy.
Yeah.
And the traffic. Yeah. I absolutely hate driving in Pattaya. Hate it.
So our Jomtien is more retirement, laid back community.
It is. It can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes. Of course, a lot of that to do with Beach Road with construction that's going on now, and they made it a one way. Of course, you're probably aware of that. But it's still, it's just so much less stressful than Pattaya, with the driving. And it just seemed like maybe even, the prices down here seem a little cheaper than Pattaya as well. And just not so busy.
Yeah. That's what I like.
Busy enough, but not so busy.
Yeah. It's sort of that happy medium.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. Roger Walker says, good evening, Darlene, Cooper, Brooke, and everyone. Thank you, Roger. Good evening to you too, buddy. Pete J says, hey, Doug. How have your kids taken to you moving to Thailand? Was it something they found easy to accept, or do they prefer your 9-month, 3-month arrangement because you're back frequently?
Yeah. Both of my kids, like I said, we're really close. Me and my kids always have been.
2 boys, boy, girl,
No, I
2
have
girls.
my son's the oldest,
Uh-huh.
and then I have a daughter.
Right.
Son's a lawyer,
Okay.
and my
He
daughter
went into law enforcement too.
yeah, and my daughter actually graduates law school in December. So
Wow.
yeah, she'll take the bar in February. So she'll
Okay.
be an attorney as well. So, but to the question, they have gotten so busy with their own careers now that, I talk to them literally almost daily. Not always, but because of modern technology with Line app, or any of them anymore, you can just video chat. There's 12-hour difference, exactly 12-hour difference right now because daylight savings is 12
that's
hours.
great. Yeah.
So like what is it here?
It's 6 at night, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. So you can talk to them and stuff and all that, but they're both so busy with their careers, and my son with his career, my daughter with finishing law school and stuff, that I know they miss me, and of course I miss them terribly too as well, but they haven't complained at all. I think they really kind of feel like I deserve it. I earned it to be able to be happy and go somewhere that I wanted to be.
So they're proud of you, in other words.
I think so.
In other words, that whatever makes you happy makes them
think
happy.
So. I don't think there's any selfishness to it on their part, that they miss me, this and that, because I mean, I think I'm pretty sure they probably are just really happy that I'm happy.
Any grandkids?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Not that you know of.
Not yet. No. Yeah,
Okay.
Not that I know of. But yeah, I think that's probably the correct answer is they just want me happy.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That
agree.
you don't have any added stress on your shoulders.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Brian Barbert says, Doug, is a law enforcement officer in USA paid well, and has it got good benefits? Here in South Africa, pay not good for the high risk job.
Yeah.
Does the payout you match the sort of risk that you're putting out every day?
You wouldn't think so, but I will say this, especially in the rural areas, Highway Patrol was like the highest paid agency, normally.
Right.
So I got paid pretty well. In fact, when I retired, I had maxed out in our retirement. At that time, they've changed the retirement system now, but it used to be at age 50. If you had 20 years of service, you could retire.
Okay, yeah.
Well, because I started when I was 21, at age 50, I had 29 years in. So I had already maxed out on the scale.
Now, how does it work with state troopers? I mean, because if it's only just you and one other guy in the county, is there any promotions that you go through? Do you make like sergeant or go up? Is there anything there, or you just sort of stay at the same level and you just get pay grade increases?
Yeah, you get pay grade increases. Now, there were promotions. I was high as I could go without having to move. They had a trooper 1, trooper 2, master trooper, and then lieutenant. Well, a master trooper is basically the same thing as a sergeant.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
They just called it a master. Well, that's what I retired as, was a master trooper. So
master trooper.
So most people would recognize that as a sergeant.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if I wanted to go on up the food chain, so to speak, and be lieutenant or captain, major, you would pretty much have to move to a metropolitan area.
So that meant moving.
So I would have had to move to like Topeka or Kansas City. Well, the money, it was a pay raise, but it wasn't worth it to me to pull my kids out of school, put them in an area that they weren't familiar with, sell my house for a 10% pay raise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course,
doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. The downside of that, though, is if you do make rank and if you don't mind moving around different parts of the state for promotions, if you don't want to do that, you're pretty well going to work the road until you retire.
Yeah.
Whereas if you become a lieutenant or captain, you sit behind a desk.
Yeah, and
you
then
get
you got
more
the
money and you do
diplomatic
less
stuff.
work.
Yeah,
You
to
know,
deal
that's
with.
pretty much how
Yeah.
it is. You don't have the stress, you know,
Yeah.
and you work Monday through Friday and
Kissing politicians' butts for a
that's it.
living.
That's
You know,
some,
so, yeah.
some of the lieutenants, they
Yeah.
still work nights and weekends and that. But,
Right.
you
So,
know,
so then you left the state troopers, took a year out, went to Florida,
yeah.
and then you went and became a sheriff
No, I
for
became
5 years.
chief of police.
Chief of police.
Yeah, chief of police.
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought it was a sheriff.
No, it's chief of police.
Where was that at?
Well, it was in the same county that I was
State trooper.
state trooper in, same town that I was raised in.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, the mayor was a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And city council members, 3-4-7.
So the
were good
sheriff was
friends.
actually under you.
No, because it's just different jurisdictions.
Okay.
So highway patrol has statewide jurisdiction.
Yes.
So you can go anywhere in the state.
Correct.
And you have powers of arrest, powers of whatever,
Yeah.
anywhere within the state. A sheriff has powers anywhere within that county.
Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
A chief of police has powers anywhere within that town or city.
Right.
Okay. So the only way that a police could make an arrest outside the city limits into the county is if there's actually a couple of different ways, but I won't get into all that.
Uh-huh.
But a sheriff can authorize that as well.
Okay.
That you can come out.
So how many deputies did you have under you then?
Well,
Or were you just the only one again?
me,
Yeah.
one full-time and a couple part-time. So that
So
was it.
there was you, one full-time person, and then a couple part-time person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there you go. Again, it's like we go back to the original part of the interview or, the talk tonight. I had no internal clock because I would get called out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So this town where you live, what was the population like? I got to ask.
Well, for the county, I think for the whole county was like 13,000.
Wow.
15,000
So that's
for the whole
small.
county. Yeah.
So you sort of knew everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. So, that's got its good part and it's got its
Bad part
too.
because then everybody knows your business at the same time.
That's 100%.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
knows where you live. Everybody knows your kids.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, so you're put
I
under a
know your dad,
microscope.
son.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Mike Long says, "Hey Coop, I'm coming in October to live. How much for health insurance per month? I'm 65. Thank you. Depends, Mike, on 1,000 different things. It depends if you have any pre-existing conditions, all sorts of things like that. You're going to have to take a medical here to get your health insurance if you're over 60. I didn't. I'm 54, and my insurance cost me $2,000 a year. So that's what I pay for my medical insurance here with Pacific Cross. Brooke, on the other hand, he's healthy, no pre-existing conditions, 71 years old. He pays $3,000 for his, but he has a $1,000 deductible. So that sort of gives you the price range depending on your medical history. That's as much as I can tell you there. What about you, Doug? Do you have a medical insurance while you're here?
Right now, all I have is traveler's insurance.
Traveler's insurance.
Yeah. If I ended up deciding to stay a little bit longer, then I'm going to get health insurance.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. A lot of people are saying self-insured.
Yeah.
Is a way to go.
Yeah.
Now, I've had a lot of people tell me that. Medical expenses here are dirt cheap.
Yes.
I mean, you can't even imagine the difference between they are here in the U.S.
Mhm.
Of course, you probably can.
Yeah.
But, the medical in the U.S. is such a joke on what it's a ripoff, how much you have to pay for just an x-ray.
Now, have you been to any of the hospitals here?
I did. I actually, I had to go to Bangkok Hospital because I had type A flu.
Type A flu.
I had never even
Okay,
heard
what
of
is
it.
that?
Yeah, well, that was,
I
actually,
stay the other side of the table,
yeah,
please. I don't want it.
Yeah, I actually got that when we got here this last time. I mean, we were here like a week, maybe, and we both ended up getting it. Yeah, I thought it was COVID.
Right.
But I'd had COVID before in the US.
I've had it twice. Yeah.
And it was like, COVID was nothing.
Yeah.
But this time, I thought, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a really bad COVID, the really nasty stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't shake it. So I ended up going to Bangkok Hospital and, they did some tests. And so you have type A flu, which is worse than COVID. That's what the doctor told us.
Is it some sort of new flu going around?
I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
It was horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. And I had it, I mean, some of the effects of it lingered for probably close to a month.
Wow. So what they give you to get over it?
Just some medicine, some antibiotics and stuff like that. But that only lasted like 2 weeks.
Okay.
They give me enough medicine for 2 weeks, and
then in the West they just give you a shot of penicillin and your ass.
I didn't get
there you go.
Yeah, I didn't get anything like that. But about 2 weeks worth of prescription medication. And but I mean, after that was gone, I still felt like crap. Like I said, for it slowly started feeling better.
Yeah.
But I could tell for almost a whole month that the effects really were still there.
So this was here in Pattaya, at Bangkok Hospital, Pattaya.
Yeah.
And what was your experience there like? How would you rate the hospital?
It was good. The only downside to it was maybe it was just a fluke, but when we went, they were really busy.
Okay.
And which was kind of, I had heard, oh man, you go right in.
Yeah,
that's you get there, you go right in. Doctor sees you, and you're right out. That didn't happen for me. Again, because it may have been a big influx of type A flu,
right?
Because there was a lot of people in the waiting room. And so I think we were in there probably a total, which again isn't that long, compared to the U.S. But I was probably still in there for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, that's nothing. In the West, you'd be sat in emergency for 6 hours before you ever see a doctor.
But when you're really, really sick and you want something,
so an hour and a half, 2 hours, that's pretty good.
Like eternity.
Yeah, but that's a long time for Thailand. Normally you're in and out sort of 30 minutes.
That was always what I was told too.
Exactly.
So I was kind of surprised.
And Scooter McGee says, I would like to have spent time in Naples, but hurricanes and alligators, yikes. Me too, buddy. Me too.
Yeah.
Robert Mac Media, actually last night had rain, few hours today, beautiful day. There you go. We've had it sporadically today, haven't we? It sort of rains for 30 minutes, stops.
I'll take it.
3-4 hours later, rains for another 30 minutes, stops.
Florida rain.
Yeah. Is that what Florida's like? Sort of like this?
What it was like when I was there. Rain would come in, 20 minutes later, it's gone.
It's gone, and it's beautiful outside.
Oh, yeah.
But when it rains here, that drops the humidity right down, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You go outside and you're not sweating.
Yeah.
Really fantastic.
Yeah.
Randy Day says, I took a U-Haul to Florida with buddies from my dorm. We bought a bunch of orange juice to bring back. Yo, Sunny D. Yeah, there you go. Do you know what happens to unrefrigerated OJ in the back of a U-Haul in the sun for 2 days? I can tell you, it probably wouldn't smell very good. Yeah, the heat does not go well with orange juice. And New Wave says, I've been to Miami multiple times and liked it there. I've only been to that one. And that was, I mean, God, I have to think. That was 1990.
Okay.
Spring break 1990.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because I turned 21 in September, born in 69.
Okay.
So I turned 21 in September. So it was Easter weekend when we were all piled down there for, Easter, spring break. And I was 20, about 4 months before my 21st birthday. So we could still legally drink. And then they changed. And I was like, oh, man, now I got to go to Mexico. Tommy Lee says, Doug, has your spidey sense turned green yet?
My spidey sense.
In other words, is Cooper a bad man? Should you arrest him and put him behind bars?
No, not at all. No.
So you actually came to what, 2 of our meet and greets?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I met you twice at 2 of the meet and greets.
Right.
And how was that for you?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I tell you, Cooper, the people that are part of your community are absolutely phenomenal people. And I mean that.
Good.
I mean, just really genuinely nice people. And I read people. Trust me.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know why.
That's why I wanted you on the live stream.
Because
I knew I'd get the truth out of you.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I always tell you what you want to hear, but I will tell you the truth. But the people that I've met are just down to earth, genuinely kind-hearted, happy people. They are like, how can you word it? They are people.
Yeah.
They enjoy talking and communicating and having, friends.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely wonderful. Literally every single member that I've met But the 2 meet and greets have just been wonderful people. So,
And that's our proudest achievement, that we've
Yeah.
actually got a good bunch of people.
yeah.
I was afraid that when I first started this out, Doug, that I would have a bunch of bad ones.
Yeah, sure.
And it would just destroy everything that I tried to
Yeah.
achieve here, you know.
Same thing we're talking about with cops.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have some slip through the cracks.
Yeah, I'm
You
sure
know,
I
you
will.
You can't blanket everybody because
Yeah.
of that. You know,
Yeah.
you just have to kind of weed those out.
But I'm
So-
just happy that, you know, the 99.9% people that we got are all good people.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic people.
And did you meet any other people in law enforcement at our meet and
I
greet?
did.
Or were you the only one?
No. Several people in law enforcement there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think I met 1 or 2 the first meet and greet, and then this last time I met at least 1, maybe 2 with the law enforcement. Different people.
Now, I think you were at the meet and greet in November. Was the first time I met you.
I think so.
Yeah. Did you meet the guy with the big gray beard who was in law enforcement? We were sat out at the table out on the balcony.
Well, I was outside at the balcony too. I may have. I
Yeah.
met so many people.
Now, he was a retired CIA officer.
Oh, okay.
Did I tell you the story?
I
He said,
don't know.
Cooper, he says, I subscribe to your channel, and yours is the only one I've subscribed to in all of Thailand. And I said to him, I can't put his name out. I got to respect everybody's privacy here.
Yeah.
You know, he probably doesn't want me telling people he's retired CIA. So I just don't put his name out.
Right.
And he says, I said, why me? Out of all the YouTube people that are out here on YouTube.
Right.
He said, because I ran a background check on you. He says, everything you said was true. I said, you ran a background check on me? He says, yeah, I did. And I said, can you do that? He says, I'm CIA. I can do anything I want. You know, so, you know, but, you know, I sort of didn't know. It was like, I was like, I didn't feel comfortable knowing that he ran a background check on me. But then when he came back and he was sort of telling everybody there at the meet and greet that night, Cooper's everything he says is true. Believe me, I know I'm CIA. You know, so you know, he was endorsing me at you know, part of it, but the other part was, wow, you know, I didn't know they can just do that out the blue. You know, I didn't have anything on my record. I think the only thing I ever had was I took a joyride in my mom and dad's car, but the police officer only gave me a warning. He says, I'm going to go get a coffee. When I come back in an hour, I don't want to see you or the car.
I'm surprised he told you he did that.
What?
It's against the law.
What, to give me a warning? I know.
No, that he did a background on you.
That he did a background on me.
That's a felony.
I don't know. Are CIA sort of different
No.
than normal police? That's one thing I wanted to ask you. You know, can he actually do that legally or?
No.
I don't know.
Legally, he couldn't have done that.
Because CIA
sort
of got their own rules that they follow. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying. I'm surprised he said that.
Yeah, he told us.
He could get himself in some big trouble for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless he was.
I haven't seen him since. That was the only time I ever saw him.
Unless he was doing some type of active investigation where you were brought up as maybe doing some criminal activity.
Nope.
Because you can't just
been a good boy all my life.
You can't just go in and start running people because that's a big no-no with the FBI. And it's felony.
He wasn't FBI. He was CIA.
No,
yeah.
But I'm just saying you have to get into NC the National Crime Information Center records that's ran by the FBI is what I meant.
Yeah.
And you can't do that unless you were actively investigating a crime and you're a suspect in a criminal. Otherwise, it's a felony. So that's what I'm saying. He better watch what he's doing. CIA, he should know better.
You can tell him next time you see him.
I'll tell him.
I'll show you and point him out to you.
What are you doing?
Greg Smith says, I spent many years in West Palm, Boca Raton, Punta Gorda. Oh my God, these are tough words here. And Tampa after the Air Force. Thank you for your service, brother. Great locations to live. Greg says. Yeah. Napoleon Galang says, can you open a bank account without prerequisites as a visitor initially? How do you transfer your dollars from the U.S.? Is the new taxation really enforced as far as getting your money into Thailand? No, the new taxation is not enforced for pensioners. You don't have to worry about it. They're not going after pensioners. Believe me, I've spoken to everybody in government that I can, and all the different departments are all telling me the same thing. So that's not an issue because of the dual taxation treaty between USA and Thailand. So you don't have to worry about that. Yes, you can come here as a tourist and open a Thai bank account. There are several companies that will do it for you. TikTok Services is one of them. They can do it for you here on a tourist visa. And also Singh, who I promote on the channel, that did mine and Darlene's retirement visa, he can do it as well. So yes, there are people out there that can help you open a Thai bank account here in Thailand. And you can just transfer your money over as and when you want. That easy. You had any problem? You got a Thai bank account there, Doug?
I do have a Thai bank account.
Any problems transferring money between the U.S. and here?
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
You've been charged any tax on transferring money over here?
No.
None.
Not yet.
None.
I don't
No.
anticipate any. So.
No. So there you go.
And it was really easy to get the Thai bank account.
It is easy. I was in and out in less than an hour, I want to say.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah, less than an hour.
Bajan Bain says, greeting from Jomtien. He's back. Bajan, thank you for coming on and joining us. We'll have to meet up, bud. Anti-Stress Kit says, hello, Coop Troop. T-minus 31 days till we are retired. Wheels down and settled in Nha Jomtien. They came out a couple months ago. Wendy and Dennis, really, really lovely couple. You'd like them.
Yeah, I kind of looked down in Jomtien too, as a fur condo down in that area, but I kind of started feeling like I was getting a little too far away for me. You know, but to each their own. So it's a lot quieter down there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we actually did our very first video this week. That's going to be on the channel next week. Our very first hotel review.
Okay.
Because I get a lot of people come on and ask me questions or send me emails. Hey, Cooper, where's the best hotel to stay?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't stayed in hotels here,
Yeah,
you know. The only time I ever stayed in a hotel was when I stayed in a hotel in Pattaya. That was over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what it's like nowadays, but we did, and we went to the Continental Hotel in Nha Jomtien. That was really beautiful. There you go. Give you a little bit of sneak peek, folks. What's coming up on the channel? We did a review of the Continental Hotel.
Speaking of hotels, I'll tell you one that I've stayed at here in Jomtien that was actually it's a dated hotel, Devare.
Devare, I've seen that. That's on Jomtien
right on the
Beach
beach.
Road.
Right on the beach. When me and the wife, when we first booked that back in November.
That's when we met. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a heck of a deal because, first of all, you get free all you can eat
buffet breakfast. Yeah, I've heard that. It's supposed to be really good. Was it?
Oh, it's 2 rooms full of food.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm talking it's really good. But when we were getting our reservations made, it was also the Queen's birthday.
Okay.
So they were offering also free Japanese dinner.
Oh, wow.
So, and the room rates were pretty low.
Yeah.
So what we did was, I think we stayed there for like almost a month. We got free all you can eat breakfast and free dinner every night.
Oh, wow. All you had to do is buy lunch.
Beachfront. And I think
heck of a deal.
We were only paying like, I don't know, $45 a night or $50 a night. That's
for the two of you.
For the two of us. That's why
that is cheap.
You know, I started thinking, geez, if I did that and I just rented that, and just booked it for like 2 months, $50 a night,
$1,500 per month for two people.
That's all you can eat breakfast, all you can eat dinner. Free Wi-Fi, free water, free electricity, leave the air conditioner running 24 hours a day, maid service every day.
Yeah.
For $1,500 for two people. I thought, man, I don't know.
That's almost more tempting than staying in a condo.
2 swimming pools.
Yeah.
Right across, literally, beachfront, right across the road from the beach. So, yeah. I don't know.
I'd like to go there and do a review on that place as well. Yeah.
It's dated. I will say that. It's dated. But it's
well, were the beds comfortable, all that?
Bed's a little hard, for Americans. For us, we're kind of used to a little softer bed, but I mean, it was okay.
Yeah. See, when I filmed the Continental, which is also right next to the beach as well, a little bit further down in Nha Jomtien, the beds were just super soft. The ones that we're used to, back in the States.
Sure.
Yeah. It felt like my Posturepedic mattress. And Dave C, who's a channel member, that's why he's got the badge next to his name. He pays $2 a month. He gets that badge. And he says, hey, boys, as a male in his 50s, what do you think chances would be of getting any sort of work in Thailand? Probably none, I'm sure. I have no idea, Dave. I don't know what you do for work, brother. I know they're screaming out for English school teachers here. I see the signs all over the place
Right.
looking for English school teachers. Me and Brooke, when we initially came here, we wanted to help the local community and we wanted to become tourist police officers.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, they had a cutoff at 65 and Brooke's 71. So we couldn't do it, but we
right,
wanted
right.
to. It's volunteer work, you know, to help the local
yeah.
police station
Mhm.
sort of give back to the community. And we
Sure.
thought that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
So there you
Right,
go. There are
right.
volunteer jobs and also paid jobs you can do out here.
Do you have to learn? Do you have to speak Thai also?
No, they wanted English.
Just English.
They wanted English tourist police officers
Mhm.
because they wanted the English tourist police officers for when the tourists come here
Right.
to help with any domestic issues
Okay.
or problems, sort of be an intermediary,
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
because you understand the English language better than the Thai police do.
Yeah.
You could probably help calm down the situation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did seriously consider that
Yeah.
with Brooke. Brooke Schneider, there you go, just talking about you. To self-insure, put 100,000 US in money market. It is equivalent to 3.5 million baht, correct? I know people that are doing that, and I do too. Self-insure.
Yeah.
3.5 million baht, $100,000. That's enough to cover you for any medical emergency
Sure.
you hear
Yeah.
that you'll have in Thailand for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
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 That's more than enough.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people only have 1-2 million baht medical insurance here.
Sure. Yeah.
3.5.
Yeah.
That's double what you actually need.
Right.
Scott Geen says, "Morning, guys. Hope you're well from Scott in New Zealand. Do you know where New Zealand is?" I guess he's asking you that, Doug.
Oh yeah.
You ever been?
I never have.
Okay.
But beautiful country.
It's down there by Madagascar, isn't it?
Australia, and all that whole area, you know, that's all down in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edwin Thomas Sr. says, "Hi, Coop. I just overdosed on your videos. I used to live in Laguna, Maldives 3. Oh, just around the back from here. We actually stayed there for 1 month when we first came here. Do you know him? You sort of looking at the picture like
No,
you know
I don't have my glasses.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't bring them with me, so I was just trying to read that. So yeah.
You want to borrow my reading glasses?
No, that's okay. I'm
because
okay.
my eyes have gone back to
No,
normal. Here,
I'm
I'll
okay.
let you borrow them. No problem.
No, I'm all right.
There you go. Try them. So you can read along with us.
Oh,
Does that help?
Oh, that does help.
There you go.
Thank you.
More than welcome. Tony Montana, Thailand. Hi, Doug. Nice to see you, mate. And he was there with us at the meet and greet.
Okay. Yeah.
Just the other
He's
day.
probably one of my met. Hi, Tony.
Yeah. It's just that picture is 20 years old.
Okay.
So that mustache and beard is now gray.
Oh, yeah. Well,
a really nice
I know
guy.
how that is.
We're sitting at the table right next to you. Tommy Lee. Excuse me. As law enforcement, you're always alert and aware of your environment. Red is high alert. Green means calm and easy.
Works for me.
Yep. Malcolm Hawken, another person that was there at the meet and greet, says, "Good day, Team Coops. A little late, but here now." That was Mal. He was the Australian guy that you met there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah, very nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to be on next Saturday as our special guest.
Okay.
Brooke Schneider, Dougie ran a background check on you too, Cooper, laughing out loud.
I don't know,
Did
buddy.
you commit a felony, Doug?
No.
Our viewers want to know.
Well, if I did
Welcome to Hard Talk.
if I did it in Thailand, then I guess technically it wouldn't be,
A felony. So you got some fellow police officers
There you
over here.
go.
Hey,
There
ran
you
a
go.
background check on this guy
There
named
you go.
Cooper. I want to
There
know
you
what
go.
he's got there.
technicalities.
Tony Montana, Doug, I take it your wife is Thai. Are your children concerned about their inheritance? What a question, Tony. I don't think that's an appropriate question to be asking.
No,
That
no, no, not at all. I mean, kids aren't concerned about it.
they're both lawyers. They're going to have them
Yeah.
more than enough money of their own.
You know, when my wife, the house we have in Chiang Mai actually is hers.
Yeah.
So,
And the house you have in America, is that going to?
it's mine.
It's yours.
Yeah. So we got a prenuptial before we got married
Oh, okay.
because you just never know.
No.
But it is what it is. So No, my kids aren't concerned whatsoever. You know, love my wife dearly, but you know, you never know. Happened to my ex-wife too, though. So you just never know. 15,
I'm
20
divorced
years
too.
down the line,
Yeah.
things can go south pretty quick. And
Yeah. New Wave Coop subscriber tally is showing 14,000. New milestone. Yeah, we just hit over our 14,000. Thank you for that, New Wave. Channel's growing, growing, growing. Got a lot of great people on here. And thank you to all of you that are on the live stream. Robert MacMedia says, it is against the law for an agent to do a background check unless you're under arrest. I think you can do it if you have reasonable cause or suspicion or investigation.
Yeah, I can tell you what it is in Kansas. Now, I can't tell you what it is in some other state, but I would think it's the same because it's ran through NCIC, which is National Crime Information Center, which in fact is actually overseen by the FBI. Okay. So you don't have to actually be under arrest.
So you can stop me for a traffic stop, request my license, insurance. I give it to you. Do you run my name on your computer database system to see if I have any warrants or anything like that?
Yeah.
So that, in a sense, that's a background check.
Kind of, sort of, but not really. What that's doing, So what it'll do is, like, do you have a warrant? You're right. Are you wanted anywhere? If so, what are you wanted for? You know, failure to appear, or this or that.
No.
You know, they'll run you through Department of Motor Vehicle. So your license suspended, invalid, this and that. But to do a thorough background investigation, what they also have to do is check to see, like, felony arrests.
Does it show you that on the computer in your car, your squad car?
No,
Does it show you if they have any felony convictions, misdemeanor?
No, that's going back.
Okay.
So you can run somebody, but they will tell you whether or not you have an active warrant.
So, that's all it tells you. It doesn't tell you if they have any criminal convictions.
It won't tell me 20 years ago you were arrested for, you know, all these crimes or whatever, and you did prison, you know, this time. To do that, you have to be a suspect in a criminal investigation.
Right. Okay.
So if you are, then I'm okay. I'm doing that because I suspect that maybe you are tied to this crime that I'm investigating, because somebody mentioned your name, and they said, hey, he's been in prison for it before, you know, 20 years ago, and he made, you know, he told me he did it. Well, then I can do that. So, but just to do it on a whim, to check your whole criminal background, you can't do that. It's a felony.
Yeah.
So it's illegal. So yeah, there you go.
Well, what he just said to me is, I was able to see your military career and that you came out with an honorable discharge.
Well, he could do that.
Did have a top secret clearance.
You could do that.
He said he didn't. I don't recall. Yeah, because he said that he checked my military career.
Okay. Well,
but he did. And he sort of worded it like, I checked your background.
Okay.
So I don't know if he did a full security check on me, or he just pulled my military records.
Seen if you had any current warrants.
Right. No.
But yeah, that could.
Yeah. So now I think about it. Yeah, you might be right on that. Dr. Carlo says, just so you know, antibiotics will have no effect on viruses, only bacterial infections. Okay, thank you for that, Dr. Carlo. Savvy Blue says, can Sean help with a short-term stay? Also, do you have any single female expats? I'm a Navy veteran as well. Yes, we do. We have quite a lot of single female. Well, all of them are single in our group. There's 12 of them, in fact. So good community for those that are retired single women as well. They've joined us here and enjoying the good life. So I have two that are retired military, one in Australia, one in the US, and they both live here, retired, living the good life, loving it. And yes, Sean can help you with a short-term stay. Not a problem. He does have properties for short-term. Mike Long says, hey guys, I'm in Daytona Beach. Any info on flying direct to Thailand? Is it possible? I have no idea. Florida man. Can you fly honestly, from that area direct to Thailand?
I don't know why you couldn't. I'm sure you could from Miami. Well, no, I don't know about direct.
I don't either. You could probably fly with Emirates and then change in Dubai here. I think Emirates fly to Florida. I'm not sure if United or Delta may fly here.
All I
to
can
Florida.
say is every single time that I've flown here from the Midwest, it's always a layover.
Right.
I've never had a direct flight.
Never had a direct flight.
No,
Yeah.
not from the U.S.
I know you can from LA.
Okay.
And I know you can from San Francisco and also Newark. You can fly direct.
Okay.
And I think O'Hare in Chicago, you can fly direct.
You know, I
don't
normally
know many more.
Yeah, I normally, like when we fly here, we normally have like 2 or 3 layovers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll fly from like Kansas City to LA.
Right.
But then we'll fly from
sort of
LA.
like with Southwest Airlines.
Yeah, or American, or I've flown with China Air one time. I don't know, there's several different ones. But even from, like, for me, from LA, I think I ended up in Japan, and then I had a layover.
My mom's done that a few times.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the name of the airlines.
I had a layover one time in China. I think that's when went from.
Oh, Cathay Pacific. That's the one I was thinking of. Went to Japan. Yeah.
I've had so many flights. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've never had a direct flight.
No.
I've always had at least 2 layovers.
Right. Yeah.
Always 2. At least 2.
There you go, Mike. Africa Islam. Great show. Do you know Africa Islam?
I know.
He's a famous DJ, and his best friend and his co-partner that he works with is Ice-T the rapper.
Oh, nice.
And he actually plays in that cop show on TV, Ice-T.
Very good. Very good.
LA Law, is it? I think it's called, or one of those crime ones.
I never really watched.
I never get time to watch TV.
I never watched any cop shows on TV.
Yeah.
You know.
Scott Geen, can you get a good condo for 15,000 baht to rent? Yes, that's about the average price of a 1-bedroom condo here, Scott. And Ted Bundy, he was a crazy guy. That's why he's in prison for life. He'll never get out.
I think he's dead now, isn't he?
Is he? Did he die in prison? I don't know.
I don't know.
Savvy Blue. Hey, guys, are there many female expats on? Yeah, we already read yours. And, oh, wait a minute. Looking forward to meeting you all when I come over to find a place. And you too, buddy. Just get yourself on a Facebook group, and we'll be happy to meet up. Tony Montana. Doug, I'm sorry if I've offended you in a way. My apologies.
No, not at all.
Yeah, inheritance, that's sort of personal. I didn't want to go down that, Tony.
No.
Because
I got really thick skin. Trust me.
Okay. Well, if it doesn't offend you, then I'm okay with it. I was just worried about offending him, Tony.
Not at all.
Because sort of draw a little bit of a red line there. But if everybody's good, I'm good.
I'm 100%.
And thank you for saying that, Tony.
Thanks. I appreciate it. But don't worry about it.
Yeah. New Wave. Hey, Doug, what was your experience like with China Airlines?
I've
never flown with them.
I did.
Are they
one
good?
time? Yeah, I didn't have any trouble at all.
Did you fly economy, business class with them?
Economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
plenty of leg room?
Oh, whenever I book, I always do an aisle so I can stretch my legs out
in the aisle.
Yeah.
But then you got all the trolley women running over you.
Well, it's just periodically.
Yeah.
But China Air, I mean, the staff were phenomenal. The flight was, I have 0 things bad to say about China Air.
Okay.
And
what about the food on the flight? Was that okay?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I have nothing bad to say about it.
So when you flew with China Air, would you go fly into Beijing and had to change flights from Beijing to Thailand?
It was the U.S. to, it was either New York or L.A. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes I'll fly. Sometimes I'll fly from Kansas City to New York, and then from New York to Japan. I know it. I don't know, because maybe they go around the world this way instead of that way. Because it is actually. Yeah,
it is. You can go both sides.
Yeah,
it's to sort of come around to Thailand. It just
depends on which way they want to go.
Yeah.
But it went from it was. I'm pretty sure it was L.A. So it was Kansas City to L.A. L.A. to. What's the name of that?
Okay, but you give them the thumbs up.
Yeah, I give them a thumbs up. I'm trying to remember the city that we landed in China.
Okay,
I'll think of it.
It's not the place the COVID came from, was it?
No, Wuhan.
No, okay. So if that those are your good airlines, what was your best one?
Shanghai, I think it's
Okay,
right,
Shanghai.
Shanghai.
What was your worst airline that you traveled on?
Well, that would be a tough question too, because it probably wouldn't. Probably one of the worst ones I've flown on was not to Thailand, but more of a domestic flights back in the U.S., and that would have been Spirit.
Spirit. Oh yeah, there's the one that takes me back. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was.
So that was your worst one. Yeah, I can understand why
but
that was.
That was more of a domestic flight.
My worst one was Qatar Airways.
Really?
Yes. And here's the thing: it's supposed to be the second best airline in the world.
Yeah.
We flew from Kuwait to Thailand during COVID because it's the only place we could go. Couldn't go to the States, couldn't go to the Philippines, but Thailand was letting people in. They call it the sandbox scheme. You can go to Phuket or you can go to Koh Samui, but you had to be quarantined on the island for 2 weeks.
Okay.
After 2 weeks, you didn't have COVID, you passed all the tests, you can go anywhere in Thailand. But you had to stay on the island, but you're free to go anywhere on the island.
Right.
Okay, after your first 24-hour check.
Right.
Well, we flew from Kuwait, and I just had a major operation. So I flew business class so I could sort of lay down in the seat because, I was still all busted up.
Sure.
And from the operation. And I bought my wife for our wedding anniversary a big makeup case. And it had the legs that come out and you'd open it up and it had the mirror with the lights on it. It was all really nice. Yeah. I paid just over $1,000 for it. It was an anniversary present.
Oh, right.
Okay. And I paid just over $1,000 for it. When we got to Phuket, it was smashed in pieces. Absolutely smashed in pieces. So I complained to their office in Phuket at Phuket Airport. And they said, you need to put it in writing, take photographs, all this. And we did. Emailed it to them. All right. Qatar Airways. Waited a week. Never heard anything. Sent more pictures.
Wow.
And everything. Never heard anything. There's not a complaint line that you can actually call if you have a problem. Lost luggage, anything like that. There's no number you can call. Yeah. If you call the main number with Qatar Airways, they tell you have to send an email. You have to put it in writing. Can you give me a number so I can speak to somebody in complaints department? Yeah. No, we don't have that. So then we went back to Phuket Airport, went to go see the woman that we initially spoke to there that worked for Qatar Airways at the airport. They have their own little office there at the airport. And she tried sending it through her work department email and still never got a reply, never got reimbursement, never got compensation, nothing, not a word from them. So to me, the worst ever customer service experience I've ever had in my life. I'll never fly with them again.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because I've always heard they're like number one too.
They're second under Emirates, I think.
Okay.
And I did have one incident, Doug, when I flew to Udon Thani, and I flew with Emirates while I was in Afghanistan. And anyways, they'd lost my suitcase.
Wow.
But they saw me while you wait where the conveyor belt comes for your suitcase to come off. Yeah. They'd actually come up and said, "Mr. Cooper, yes, that's me. Sorry, we've lost your suitcase. It's still in Dubai." But here's what they did. They said, "We're going to deliver it to you tomorrow. Where are you staying?" And I told them where I was staying, and fair enough, they came to the word, and they brought it straight to my front door.
Wow.
I didn't have to go back to the airport to pick it up. And then what they did to compensate me, because they'd lost it for one day, they gave me a free business class ticket anywhere in the world.
Oh my God.
Anywhere in the world I wanted to.
Was that?
Emirates.
Okay.
Fantastic customer service. Fantastic.
It's too bad all of them are that
two, there's, sort of, you got the difference between one and the other.
Oh yeah.
Emirates, fantastic customer service. Qatar Airways, I'll never fly with them again. I did everything I could. And I've even been in airports where they have their business class lounge, and I've gone in there and I said, hey, I want to speak with your manager, here, because they have the Skywards program, the Air Miles, and said, look, it's 2 years later, I still not heard anything. I said, there's nothing we can do about it. We don't have a direct complaint line. There you go.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. Robert Macmedia, I always fly from LAX to Taipei to Vietnam or Thailand on Ava Airlines. Okay, there you go. Ava Airlines. You ever tried Ava?
I have. Is that out of Japan?
Ava Airlines.
It's an Asian airline, right?
I think it's Indian.
Is it Indian?
In the one out of India.
Okay.
Yeah. Around there.
I think
somewhere.
one of the flights actually that when we came here this last time, I think one of them was Ava Air.
Was it good? Good experience?
Yeah, I had no complaints.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dennis Starkey says there was an article just today regarding direct flights to Thailand. Currently, there are none. Closest is from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yeah.
Okay, from Canada.
Yeah.
Alfa Romeo, Doug, thanks for taking the time and sharing your time and experience moving to Thailand. Hope to meet you at a meet and greet in the future.
Yeah,
Thumbs up.
likewise. You bet.
Yeah, he's going to be back out here later on this year around about November. You going to be back out here? When are you coming back out?
He's coming when?
November.
Well, like I said, I have the option to go back in August
Mm-hmm.
When my wife goes back, or I could stay till December.
Right.
I have to go back at least in December because my daughter's graduating law school. And if I don't show up for that,
you'll be in big trouble.
I'll be in big trouble. So yeah, I gotta at least. But yeah, I mean, I may still be here. So yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
In November. Yeah, you bet. Yeah, I'll look forward to it.
Scott Geen says China Airlines, great, very good.
I agree.
Never tried them. Mm-hmm. Tommy Lee, China Air, Taiwan is one of the best airlines. Air China, PRC, questionable. Okay, never flown with them. Air China. Yeah. Live and learn with Mike. I flew with Turkish Airlines from Detroit, and we had one stop in Turkey. Great airlines, no complaint. DJ Cooper has the best channel in Thailand. Thank you for that, Mike. Really appreciate it.
Cooper? Or?
Yeah, that's me. He calls me DJ. He says I got a DJ's voice. Do you think I got a DJ's voice?
You do have a good voice.
Really? I don't hear it.
Yeah, no,
all I hear is
you don't.
whining.
Yeah, you sound different than what you think you do.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody sounds different than the way I think I sound.
Right.
Yeah. Tommy Lee, Ava Airline is Taiwanese. Okay, thank you for that.
There you go.
I wasn't exactly sure where they were from. Thanks to you, Tommy. Robert says Taipei is Ava Airlines. Okay, so Taipei, Taiwan. Yep. Derek C. I flew China Airlines to Bangkok this year and was very impressed and will use for my trip back. There you go. So a lot of people like that airline.
Any trouble at all.
Harsha says Ava Airlines is Taiwan, not India. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my best guess there, folks. I said I wasn't sure. Romeo says Ava is Taiwanese. Here we go. How well is Philippine Airlines? They're not too bad. They're sort of like Southwest Airlines, I guess. They're a sort of budget airline. Not bad. Comfortable seats. I didn't mind.
No, I've never flown on.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah.
And he said from U.S. I don't know flying from U.S. With Philippine Airlines. Never done it. I think they do fly direct from the California coast side over there. I have no idea. I know Thai Airways does fly into there. Have you ever flown Thai Airways from the West?
Not from the West. No.
No. Okay. And last comment goes to Tony Montana. Says normally with lost or delayed luggage, the airline will put you up in a hotel room for the night, and also you get $500 to buy some personal effect until they deliver your luggage. And normally, Tony, you'd be absolutely right, unless you fly with Qatar Airways, in which case you get this. And that is straight. That is exactly what we got. Don't contact us, we'll contact you, sort of thing. And expired passport, bro. Ava Air is from Taiwan. Thank you for all the feedback. Girls just walked in and walked past the camera, by the way. That was Darlene and Doug's wife, whose nickname is Guy. And that's it. That is the last comment on today's live stream. Thank you all for coming and joining us. And till next time, well, we'll be back on Wednesday morning with Mr. Brooks Schneider. Thank you all for coming. Next week, we're going to have another subscriber come on and share their experiences here in Thailand. And they've been here for many years. So it should be some very good feedback of what it's like for them and their experiences here. And here you go, another happy customer, loves Thailand. Great place. So thank you for all of you. Going to say quick goodbyes. Tommy, great stream. Thank you guys. Thank you, Tommy. Scott, thank you guys. Thank you, Scott. Harsha, thank you, Cooper, and thank you, Harsha. Really appreciate it. And final one goes to Brooke Schneider. Thank you, Mr. Brooke Schneider. And until next time. Oh, we got a couple more. You won't let me go. Thank you, Cooper and Doug from New Wave. And Mike says thanks. Thank you, Mike. And Greg Smith, thanks. There we go. I try to get all of them. One more keeps popping up. Robert Mac Media says, great guest. Hope to meet Doug at a future meetup.
You bet.
And you know what? Greg is a fantastic, Doug is a fantastic guy. All of you going to like him. He's got one of those personalities where you sort of click with him instantly. I can't see that he's had many enemies in his life. He's just got one of those great personalities, and that's the sort of people I really like to be with. Robert R. says, I really like China Air. They go through Taipei. China Air is currently Taiwanese. Once in Taipei, you are only 3 hours from Bangkok. Nice to know. Mike Long, plus. And thank you, Mike. So from myself, Cooper, and Doug, until next time, whatever you do, stay tuned and God bless.